Hi my friends, it's Meredith with Soul Navigation, your evolutionary astrologer, and I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. Today I want to talk about, originally I was going to do the rest of 2020, but then I got deep down into October and what is October 2020 going to bring us, and oh my God, today I'm only going to talk about October. I mean, this is the single hardest time in our lives collectively. This definitely is probably our hardest month collectively. Individually, you may have already suffered, and so your pain, your losses, and your sadness might bubble up again in October. Can you hear Teddy? I've got Teddy and Aurora in my office down here, so you're going to hear them. But October's really hard, and I want to go through it with you. So I'm here for you, and I feel your love for me, and I'm so grateful. And I want to do the deeper dive. So this isn't for the faint of heart. This isn't for somebody who's looking for a fairy tale reading. This isn't for somebody who just wants to hear all the good news. What I hope I can do is prepare you, share with you what's inside these transits, and help you scoot around them and move through them as best that you can, and try to show you the intention and the purpose and the remedy inside each one. So let's dive in. So I have to start with September because September is a pretty big deal right here at the tail end. So Mars is lining up in this challenge, or this exact square to Saturn in Capricorn. It's the god of karma. Mars is the god of war. And so we're going to see karma at play, if you will. And this is not an easy transit, and it is especially not easy transit when Mars is going retrograde. Mars is going forward and it stops. Imagine it slamming on its brakes, and slam on the brakes in slow motion. And what does that do? That creates so much impact and so much power. And then Mars goes inwards. It's an illusion that Mars goes backwards, but just imagine it sort of rumbling within, right? It doesn't really go backwards. This is a day of enormous Mars power. Now, any transits I give you, I want you to know I'm giving you the date that it's a bullseye, but they can take place 10 days prior, on the exact bullseye day, or 10 days later. So if they fit within that window, you're experiencing that transit. And that's really important for you to know. And so it's going to feel like we're not getting our way. It's going to feel like we are being thwarted. It's going to feel like our life force energy, right, is being challenged. It's going to feel like our very life is being challenged. Mars is in direct square to Saturn, and Saturn is at 25 degrees Capricorn, and Mars is at 25 degrees Aries. So it's uncomfortable, and we will feel like there are rules placed on us that make us feel set back, and we're going to feel this stifling because Saturn squashes you, oppresses you, and represses you. And what is it repressing? Mars at 25 degrees Aries. And so Mars is the life force energy in the world. Now this is happening collectively. This is happening like around the world and in the human race. But in truth, if you've got any of your planets at 25 degrees Aries, or Cancer, or Capricorn, where that Saturn is, or Libra, you are going to feel crunched. You are going to feel squashed. You're going to feel like life is friggin' hard. You're going to feel a block to your energy. You're going to feel your body physically blocked, your life force energy feeling squashed like a bug. And I don't want you to feel that way. And by the way, this is going to play out for the entire rest of the year. I want to tell you something, and I want to be really honest with you. October is brutal. It's going to usher in really hard and painful energy. And I'm being sincere about it. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, and I don't want to be a fatalist. And I want to tell you that I truly believe that love wins. And I believe that love is the remedy for all things. And I believe that when you can love your enemy, you can melt your grudges. And I've come to learn that that is the number one key mega ingredient for enlightenment, is to be able to melt the grudge and love your enemy. Love people you don't understand. That's even hard for me to do, but I try really hard. And I like to put that out here in the world. And I've found that a lot of my subscribers, thank you, I love you being here, and my super supporters, and the people who leave comments come from that place. So thank you. Let's keep going. We have a lot of days to cover. Stick with me. Okay, so we are going to see this Mars square Pluto, Mars square Saturn aspect, and we're going to see Mars play out through the whole rest of the year, all the way until December 23rd. So I want to ask you, if you are a cardinal sign, do you have anything at 25 degrees Libra, Aries, Capricorn, or Cancer? And if so, be careful, because you are going to feel this at a very deeply personal level. And if you don't have anything in those degrees, then you're going to feel this in the collective world outside of you. It doesn't mean you're not affected. It just means that you will see it in the external world show up loud. It's still going to be there, but it's still going to be present in your life. But if you are a cardinal sign, that's Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn, and you have something at 25 degrees, especially your sun, this is prominent. This year has been just probably very difficult for you. And the month of October is really tough for you. So I am sending you so much love right now. So I want you to get ready for the full moon on October 1st, and it's going to be at 9 degrees Aries. So if you're born in the first 9 days of Aries, March 18, 19, 20, 21, so an early Aries, this full moon is right on your soul, and it's going to happen at 2:05 Pacific time on October 1st. So mark your calendars. Because it's a full moon in Aries, these are going to be big, giant emotions. And we're probably going to feel like we want to take something on, or we want to step into the fight. We may have to deal with our anger and our hot-headed emotions. And we also have this full moon sitting on Chiron. And so that is the collective wound. So it's like there is an emotional wound that is coming forward that we are trying desperately to get away from, cut off, lose, or destroy, if you will. Like, we want to destroy this pain and this anger, this thing that is hurting us. Maybe it's COVID. Maybe it's your government. Maybe it's people in your household. It might be a relationship, but we feel this enormous passion, and this passion has turned into anger or upset or disgust or revolting or revolt. But there's a collective loss with this full moon. So we feel like, because Chiron is there, we feel like we have been wounded, or we see the wounded, and we are experiences losses and hurts. That's Chiron. And we are upset. So loss is what the full moon means. Aries means anger or upset, impulsive emotions, big emotions, brazen emotions, quick with our tongue, direct, where we want to beat somebody up. Not saying you should. I'm just saying we have this like volatility inside of us. And then we've got Chiron right there. And it's actually because we're hurting. You're going to see the hurt, the sadness, and the anger and the loss come out on that full moon. What I want you to think about is I want you to stand in sort of the wound of that scenario. And I want you to use this force for the well-being of others, for somebody other than yourself. And if you are feeling wounded or hurt or sad, the fastest way to remedy those wounds and those sadnesses is to stand in the wound of somebody else. And when you stand in their wound, it's really hard for you to live inside of your own. So use that passion for compassion. Turn that anger or that volatility into fuel to take on a challenge, right? Use your energy for this mighty force of somebody else's well-being. Step into the conversation. Stand up for those things that you believe in and channel the higher side of this combination so you can help heal the wounds rather than grow the wounds. Okay, so Mars is still retrograde, okay? And Mars has been retrograde, since September 9th. So I want you to think about what have you been doing since September 9th? And it's going to stay, I'm going to bring you in a little closer. I want you to snuggle into me. Just snuggle in a little tighter. It's going to stay retrograde until November 13th. And it's an interesting time because Mars is one of the most outgoing planets. I actually think it is the most outgoing planet. Jupiter is pretty outgoing too, but Mars has the most thrust and the most vitality. When it's going within, it's very uncomfortable. It doesn't like to introvert. It doesn't know what to do with all of its energy. It doesn't know what to do with all this like passion, and it's just all bottled up inside and it can implode. And if you think about the forest fires that have happened here in the Pacific Northwest and in California, West Coast, up and down the West Coast, oh my God, it is so sad. I mean, just here where I live, I can't even speak about it. It was so bad. I couldn't even walk my dog outside. Most people in Seattle don't have air conditioning. Thank God we do. But my friends who didn't have air conditioning and couldn't go outside, it was awful. I mean, it looked like we were literally living in hell. It was black smoky and orange and just apocalyptic. It was such a horror show. So that's kind of like what happens to Mars when it doesn't know what to do with its energy. It pops. So right now, until November 13th, you're going to see this Mars retrograde in action, and it's going to be weird. On a really personal level, we have to be really careful because we can snap and pop and be super hot-headed, and we can seriously lose our cool. You're going to see right now that there's people just popping off being weird. Just popping off and being weird and kind of being insane and having crazy energy, fiery tempers. Mars is not only retrograde, but it's in that square aspect to both Saturn and Pluto. Let me show it to you. So this stays in play until November 13th. So I think we're going to see that we're really in a big fight until November 13th. And I think there are going to be times when it's appropriate for you to stand up for yourself, for you to stand in your power and draw boundaries. I mean, I think people could really try to violate your boundaries. And of course, I want you to fight for your rights. Don't let anybody violate you. Don't let anybody steal from you. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. But at the same time, I also really ask you to rise above the fight and pour love into the world and pour patience. Like, so few people will be patient right now. The biggest gift you can show up with is patience. Let me tell you this quick little story. So I had to call this government hotline, if you will, for this COVID relief support for businesses. And I got this gentleman by the name of Omar. Oh my gosh, like he really wants to answer these stupid COVID business questions, right? That man was so patient. I was like, I'm so sorry, I don't have my information. Oh, I don't know my tax ID number by heart. Oh, I gotta go look that up. Oh, I don't have my driver's license. Oh, I can't find it right. And you know what he said to me? It's okay. Take your time. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's no big deal. I'm here to help you. I was like, I know this is going to sound crazy, but that might have been like the most loving thing that happened to me all day. That Omar on customer service told me, it's okay, go slow. It's all right. I was like, wow. Yeah, I want to have what he's having, right? Love you, Omar. If you're watching my channel, I love you. I happen to know he's absolutely not watching this channel, but still, it was kind. Okay, so now we are going to talk about October 2nd, okay? Now don't hate me. We're only on the 2nd. We have the whole entire month to do. I'm trying to go through it a little bit faster. This is a hard day. This is literally a day when we're going to hear heartbreaking news. Mars and the moon are together. This is a time of usually cutting times. When Mars is on the moon, you feel stabbed in the heart. You feel the pain of loss. And we just like cannot handle the emotions, especially because it's in square aspect to Pluto. So I'm sending you extra, 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 extra big love. I'm giving you a hug right now. And you know what? Boomerang it back here because I might need it too. But today Venus moves into Virgo, and so love is really best expressed through pragmatics. So one of the ways that you can manage this transit is to hold someone's hand or go for a walk or bring someone flowers or call your grandma. I'm not joking. Do crafts with somebody or cook a meal together or go get cupcakes or join someone on their diet program or do boot camp together. I'm not kidding. October is hard. Have I said it yet? It's very, very hard because October is growing us. It's growing our character. It's growing our stamina, and it is pushing us into fifth dimension values. Have you watched my video, Don't Lose Hope for 2020? If you want to watch all the transits for the rest of the year, I did this video in March. And I can't believe how accurate the video actually is turning out to be. Okay, so we have the sun and the moon, and it's opposing Mars, Black Moon Lilith, and Chiron. Oh my God, all together. Please forgive me. But I want to challenge you. Let's go way beyond this horrible energy and let's just be a catalyst for love and hope and beauty no matter what. And do something extra for someone, and then I want you to leave a comment. Come back to me here on this channel and leave me a comment and let me know, what is it that you did? What did you do for somebody else? And I want to know the reward. I want to know, like, what nice thing did you do? How did you pay it forward? And like what came out of it? It's not about recognition or power or anything like that. It's just about, let's be a community where we can really prove that we're going to rise up above this negative energy. And this is a day of manifestation. It just comes with a lot of darkness. Black Moon Lilith, that's very painful. And Mars, it's just like, our emotions are hitting a wall. And Chiron is the collective wound. So people are really, really suffering. Let's just create an absolutely gorgeous community. And I want you to tell me in the comments below, what beautiful thing happened or did you create on this Libra new moon? I mean, it is ruled by Venus. So I do have to say that, and I am going to talk about like the male energy versus the female energy. This is a day when women will really have the opportunity to speak up because it's all in Venus. It's all happening, I should say, in Libra, which is ruled by Venus. Venus is in her glory up there in Virgo. So it is a really powerful feminine energy day. It is kind of thwarted because Mars is opposing it, and I'm going to get into that in a minute. So I can't wait to hear what you created on the new moon, and I do hope you'll come back here and remember to leave a comment because I want to hear everybody's stories. But on the 17th, we're going to feel like there's an emotional roller coaster. It's that Uranus, and we're going to feel like our emotions are unstable and like we're on this giant emotional roller coaster. And at the same time, we could have some emotional breakthroughs though. So there could be emotional like flashes of brilliance where we just feel like intuitively we get something or emotionally we connect in. On the 18th, the sun is going to square Saturn. So when the sun squares Saturn, we feel like we're working really hard. We feel overwhelmed and stressed out and quite frankly exhausted. So you might see your energy feeling blocked. You might feel like no matter how hard you try, you have to push harder or just surrender. And you know what? I say do both. So push really hard, like push through. Don't take no for an answer. Push, push, push. Do what you need to do and then surrender. Let the chips fall where they may. And that night on the 18th, I want you to end up in an Epsom salt bathtub. That's where I want you. But go slow. Take a bath. Enjoy yourself. Have a nice hot tea. Listen to beautiful music. Cozy, comfortable sheets. Feel good. October 19th, 20th, and 21, you're going to take a deep breath, recharge, regroup. That's kind of your respite for October. And believe me, the tension is still there because you still have that Mars aspect to Pluto. And it's not simple, but it's just sort of like ride the wave. People, ride the wave. You can do it. I know out of anybody in the world, the people on this channel can do it. Okay. So on the 22nd and 23rd, it's very interesting because the moon here is going to creep up on Jupiter, Pluto, and then Saturn. And so when it's right next to Jupiter, it brings in abundance and blessings and good news. And then when it gets to Pluto, it's going to have intense transformative feelings, and it's even going to maybe feel heartbreaking. And then when it gets to Saturn, it's going to feel stifled and oppressed. So basically the 22nd and the 23rd, mixed bag. You're going to have high highs and low lows. We're going to get good news, bad news. So you're going to feel both things. You're going to feel like two sides of the same coin. You're going to feel like heads and tails. So that day, just kind of expect good news, bad news. What do you want to hear first? You're going to see that some people feel really happy and elated and other people feel angry and horrified. So it's a big split, and that day I think is a divisive day because we've got some people in the happiness camp and some people in the miserable camp. So it's a good day for some and terrible day for others. And you might even feel that internally within your own self. But that's a really split day, very, very hard, where you feel two things maybe at the same time. So not everybody likes a moon in Aquarius, but I kind of feel like it might be a blessing right now, the moon in Aquarius on October 25th. And I say that because, it takes the chill out. It's like detached, cool, and aloof. So maybe it gives us a chance to manage our emotions. Maybe it allows us to be a little bit more cerebral. But on October 25th, we've got the moon in Aquarius, but we still have that Mars square Pluto aspect. We're going to be living with that for a while. So I think COVID is still really a thing, and it's probably increasing its death toll still. And it's tough, but with that Aquarius moon, we might feel like we can just detach from the news a little bit on the 25th. Or we just personally take a little time out. On the 26th, things are still really wonky with Mercury in retrograde. Ooh, it's hard. So you want to be careful with your purchases, with your signing contracts, and that's between October 13th and November 3rd. Remember, at like 1:45 Eastern time on November 3rd. You want to be careful. If you are like signing a ballot and mailing it in, make sure you do it really right and you mail it in to the right place, because it could not be counted. October 27th, Venus gets exalted in Libra. Gosh, it's like Venus loves being in Libra. That's its favorite place other than Taurus. And it's going to stay there until November 21st. And Venus in Libra is all about judgment and balance and fairness. And it's the scales. So it wants to weigh things, it wants to evaluate things, and it wants things to be just right, perfect, and so. It's about relationships. It's about two sides. It's about having a genuine desire for all things fair. Okay, so you're going to see that when Venus moves into Libra, it's going to come into an opposition with Aries, with Mars in Aries. And it's going to come into that opposition. It comes into sight right around November 1st. Let's see. Oh, but it's exact on the 9th of November. So right about this time, at the end of October, you're going to start to see that there's a pit against feminine energy and masculine energy. That could be male and female, like men and women, or that could just be the essence of the feminine and the masculine, the yin and the yang. But I actually think that it is going to be a battle of the sexes in some way. So if you feel like you're in an argument with your partner and it's a male, female, or masculine, feminine kind of fight, I wouldn't be surprised on a personal level, but you're also going to see it at a global level that there's going to be kind of tension between this male and female energy at this time all the way. And it goes exact, I think, on November 9th, where Mars opposes Venus exactly. Okay, now I want to say something about October 31st. This is a really hard day. This is one of the harder days of the year. And I want you to go take a look at what I said back in March in a video that I did about this very day that we're coming up upon. Check this out. October 31st is a really, really hard day. And in the United States, that's Halloween. It will be an ominous night. There is a full moon that night, but Uranus is on the moon, and Uranus creates crisis, accidents, tragedies, shocks out of the blue, and it's shocking times. So I do want you to be careful on October 31st, and I want you to be peaceful because it's a shocking time. How do you remedy that? How do you make that not happen, if you will? You become the antithesis of it. You become peaceful and sort of impenetrable. So I want you to prepare to have a great time on Halloween because the energy is so unusually dark. Now, when you look at the chart, it's got really challenging energy. First, Mercury is in retrograde in Libra, square to Saturn, exact. And so it's almost like our thoughts or our mind is being challenged or stifled, oppressed or suppressed. Like we're not supposed to speak up. We're not supposed to communicate. We're not supposed to think. We're not supposed to talk. Something about our communication or our thought process is being dominated or challenged. And it's also square to Pluto. So it's just like our voice is being annihilated. But I think we're supposed to stand in the power of Pluto and transform our perspective, transform the way we think, and transform the way we talk. So there is this aspect is trying to grow a new perspective, which is really interesting. Mercury is also square Jupiter, which means we might be having sort of pie in the sky ideas, or we might believe in things that are too good to be true, right? Like a little bit of fantasy land or fairy tale. Maybe not fantasy land, but we believe in, we have sort of a naive hopefulness. I'm sorry, but I am kind of naively hopeful, even in despair, because I have faith. I believe faith is a bridge from my perspective, my mortal perspective that is small. And I believe faith is the bridge into God and God's will and divinity and the karmic laws and the miracles of life. This Mercury square Jupiter is like you believe in the miracle, but sometimes we can believe falsely and we can believe in false miracles. So this is showing me, have a genuine and true belief in yourself and in God and in the lesson that we have not yet completed, because we're still standing in the middle of the lesson. It's only October, and this doesn't end for a while, not until next spring, after Valentine's Day, after February 14th, 2021. The other hard day, if you are going to go out on Halloween, I want you to be really careful. I don't think I'm going to let my daughter go out on Halloween. There's just too many reasons, but this night is really, really hard. It's a full moon. Look at that. And Uranus is on the moon. That's really, really tough. The other thing is Neptune is square the nodal axis. So it's hard to know what to trust and what to believe in. And everything is foggy now. And we're even probably feeling a bit paranoid. And then Mars is in this very wide opposition to Venus, but we still have this male female stressor, this masculine feminine yin yang stressor. That is tough energy. So if you do go out on Halloween, and I'd rather you stay inside, have people come to you, but that is a really tough night. And with that, forgive me for this like blue October. It's not my choice, but I do want you to be prepared. And I do think that we can soften it with love and blessings and raising our collective vibration up. I do hope that you are wonderful and good, and I say my prayers for you, and I'm sending blessings out to everybody. And if you're not a super supporter or a subscriber, come join the group. I always try to keep it honest and real with you. I don't like to give you false or shallow astrology. I like to do the deeper side of astrology here. So forgive me. Let's get through October together, and leave me a comment and go check out my other videos on this station. A lot of them are far more happy than this one. Brace yourselves for October, and I'll see you back here soon. Every Sunday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Take good care. And I'm going to return to my Astrology 101 videos next week. Bye for now.